Welcome to the HVAC Business Growth Podcast. Is your business getting beaten by the competition or your profits dwindling? It's time to kickstart your HVAC business. Here's your host, Nick Balowski.
Hello everybody, welcome to the HVACBusinessGrowth.com podcast. I'm your host, Nick Balowski. We've got another great show lined up for you today. We're going to be talking about consultative selling. And I'm a real big fan of consultative selling because it starts to get away from the good old-fashioned hard-selling, product-based sales methods that give salespeople a bad name. Basically, I think consultative selling is fantastic because it's just a more ethical way of selling and a more ethical way to transact business. And I think it's great because it extends beyond face-to-face contact. It's basically a way of systematically guiding and holding the hand of the person that's interested in your market or your products or services. So the main thing with consultative selling is the goal is actually different. I mean, we all want to get sales from our sales staff, but the goal is actually to be more of a business partner and take more of a nurturing approach. So if you can take more of a nurturing approach, then the selling will actually happen when you care more about the result that the other person's actually getting. So one of the fundamental things about consultative selling is that people's needs always come before the product. So newsflash here is that the highest margin product that you have might not actually be the best for the person. It might actually mean through the consultative selling process that the cheapest product you have with the lowest margin could actually be what's best for the needs of that person at that particular time. But you need to think of this a little bit more long term. So if we're using that example I just gave there of selling a low margin product, if you look after somebody, then they're more likely to come back to you in the future when they need another system in their new house, or they're going to be referring family and friends to you as well because you did a great job nurturing and consulting them through the whole sales process. So with consultative selling, the main thing is that you're actually just asking lots of questions and you need to be able to customize these to the needs of the person. So the needs of the person actually come before the product, and this is the absolute fundamental. You need to become a problem solver. So people's criteria is really important. So I'm going to share with you a really recent story that will show you what buying criteria actually is. So I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and although it's autumn here at the moment, we're in the month of March, we've just gone through quite a decent heat wave where we've had 9 days in a row that have been over 32 degrees Celsius. So normally this time of year it should be really comfortable, 23 to 25 degrees. So the reason why this story is of importance to you is I've got a 5-month-old son, and my criteria around this story was basically due to the heat wave. My young son was getting really uncomfortable in his bedroom. It was really hot. He was becoming quite distressed. So I basically just bit the bullet and went out and bought an air conditioner for his bedroom. So my criteria for buying this was I actually wasn't interested in getting the best possible air conditioning system for him, although that would have been nice. I had to go out and buy something straight away. So my criteria for buying the air conditioner were it needed to be not super cheap, but it had to be affordable because I was paying for it straight away. I was paying cash for it. And it needed to be able to be picked up straight away. So I had to be able to get the air conditioner from stock, and it had to be able to be installed that night because I was buying this air conditioner at about 5 o'clock at night, and I had to be able to get the air conditioner into his room and working that night because we're right in the middle of this particular heat wave. So they were my particular criteria for buying. As it turns out, I just went in and bought the air conditioner, and there wasn't really a consultative process from a sales point of view because the people in the store were so busy. But if a salesperson had actually walked me through some questions and actually asked me, what my criteria were and why I was buying the air conditioner and what I needed, then they could have easily came to the conclusion about which particular air conditioner would have suited my needs. So it wouldn't have mattered if somebody tried to sell me the latest and greatest system that was going to cost $10,000, because I wouldn't have bought it at that stage because it simply didn't fit my buying criteria. So I think that story should illustrate why people's buying criteria is really important, and you need to become a problem solver. So this process actually extends as well into the pre, during and post marketing communications. So you need to make sure that the customer is educated around the broader market, to do it with heating and cooling and some of the pitfalls that are in the industry. And they also need to be educated around the products that you offer. So I'm not talking about the technical specifications of the product, although it is important that some people do know that sort of stuff. They need to know why these technical specifications are actually important to them and the benefits that they offer. So it might be an ability to cool the house when the temperature gets above 100 degrees, or it might be that one particular system is more energy efficient than the other. So all of these different technical specifications are really important. So if you can educate people through your marketing communications, you're going to be positioned as the solution in that particular market, just purely by offering the best advice. So some ways that you can do this are you can create some consumer awareness guides and reports that are going to assist you with this consultative selling. You can also put some videos up on your website and YouTube as a way of educating people that are interested in your market about the products and services that you offer, and again, some of the pitfalls that are in your particular industry. So the big key with this is just make sure that you're giving away your best information. Give away all your secrets. Don't leave anything on the table here. Like I said, this is an education process. So tell people everything that you know, all the different points and factors that they need to avoid, what they need to look for when they're buying. Give them a great education, and you'll find that you'll make some sales from there. Okay, so now it's time for another HVAC business growth tip of the week. So this week's tip is to let the customer do the talking. So you need to be able to ask quite leading questions and try and search for their criteria. You'll know that you've done a good job of consultative selling when the person actually sells themselves into the solution. So you won't be talking all that much. People will be answering your questions, and by the end of the consultation, they're going to say, this is the solution that I need. Okay, so that's all I've got time for on today's show. I'm Nick Balowski. This has been a HVACBusinessGrowth.com podcast. If you have any questions at all about today's show, just leave them in the show notes on the website, HVACBusinessGrowth.com. Or if you've got any comments, just post them onto iTunes. Thanks very much. I'll see you next week.
This has been another edition of the HVAC Business Growth Podcast. For more marketing tips and strategies, go to the website, HVACBusinessGrowth.com.